The Mike North Show here on Fox Sports Radio. Of course, north2north.com, Norththo, north.com. You'll see this up on our website also. One of the best all-around running backs in football today. A guy that I wanted to get on back in the day when he was playing for Tulane. I told my producer at the time, we got to get this guy, Matt Forte, on. This guy is unbelievable. And we couldn't get him because Tulane was trying to protect him at the time for some reason. And we're pleased to have him on now as the Chicago Bears. What's up, Matt?
What's going on?
All right, buddy. Well, you getting ready? I talked to a Seattle station last night. I said, well, the Bears are excited to play you guys, from what I'm understanding. And they said, well, we're excited to play them, too, since we beat them and we played them at Soldier Field. What does that mean anything at the end of the day? Because everybody, you guys are 0-0. They're 1-0 in the playoffs. It's a whole different dynamic, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, it's a different mindset. It's one game. Either you win or you go home. So, it's a whole different mindset for everybody. And we're just focusing on what we have to do this weekend and try to go out there and get a win.
Now, did you watch the game? Did you watch the Seattle-New Orleans game?
Yeah, I sure did.
And what did you think? I mean, did they look basically like the team that you guys played back during the regular season? Did they? I know they had Matt Hasselbeck. They were missing some people, but you guys were missing Lance Briggs.
Yeah, they looked a little different. It's playoff type football. Everybody's flying around to the ball. So I think that they've gotten better throughout the season, just like we have. So should amount to a good game.
Well, now let's talk about what Jay Cutler's brought to the table and how much easier it's been for you. There was an adjustment made, Matt. After you guys, I think, were 4-3, you went on a bye week. It seemed like the passes got shorter. The steps were less than they were. There was no 7-step drops, hardly any 5-step drops, and there was more throws to the backfield. Was that a big part of what happened the rest of the season? Seemed like the offense got a different identity after the bye week than they had before.
Yeah, throughout the bye week, we kind of evaluated ourselves and see what we did the best and kind of took it from there, started running the ball a little more and then, taking shorter drops and things like that. So it's worked out for the best for us.
You know what? The waiting. Would you have rather played the next week? Or, we saw some teams that were probably a little rusty. Well, heck, last night, the national championship game, those guys, well, that's a month and 5 days. That's ridiculous. But would you have preferred to play the very next week, or are you happy you got the rest?
I think we needed some rest. It's always important to get your rest. And, when everybody gets their rest, they're more able to play, this weekend. So it's different than, the guys in college. They had like 5 weeks off. It was only a week. So I think we should be fine.
You know what? Any new wrinkles? Anything that... have you guys? When did you guys start preparing? And were you preparing for somebody else besides Seattle?
No, we were just
waiting
to see who we were going to play.
Okay, and do you think? You know what? You had a great all-around season, and even your teammates are saying that that he's about as good as it gets. You had the 1,000 yards rushing, you had the 500 yards catching. How would you rate your season?
I think I did pretty well. Considering that I've got over 1,000 yards rushing and like you said, the 500 receiving. So I think it was successful. I just wish we could have ran the ball earlier more. I guess that would have improved on the running game. But it came into effect towards the end of the season. And that's when you want it to start happening.
With Matt Forte, outstanding running back for the Chicago Bears here on Fox Sports Radio and north2north.com and norththon.com. We'll have the interview up there. And I'll tell you what, before we let you go, Matt, I got to ask you about the situation where you might end up playing Green Bay. That would be the dream matchup of dream matchups. But I also want to talk to you about Philadelphia. You guys had beaten Philadelphia. Seattle's beaten you. There's a little bit of a different swagger when you beat a team. Would you guys have wanted to face? It didn't matter who you play, but if Philadelphia came into town, you guys had basically laid a whipping on them. Would Seattle beat you? Philadelphia doesn't, but Seattle finishes 7-9. Are you happy with the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really mattered who we were going to play, and I didn't have a preference. Whoever we're gonna play, we know it's gonna be a hard-fought game anyway. It's the playoffs, so I don't think it really mattered who we're gonna play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, we appreciate you joining us. And Chester Taylor struggled early. He's starting to play a little bit better now. How important is it that we get him going so you can get your proper rest?
It's very important. As you can tell, it's late in the season, and every team needs 2 or 3, even 3 running backs. So, he's been doing well. So, I think we should be fine this weekend.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, good luck this weekend, my friend. Take it to him, and then we'll get ready for the next week.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Matt Forte, Chicago Bear running back here on the Mike North show on Fox Sports Radio.